Welcome to Bulldog Sports Insider. I'm Emma Jones.
And I'm Adam Walters here in Studio 604B at Hart County High School here to give you this week's Bulldog Sports News.
Welcome to our show. Today we're going to be talking about the basketball scrimmages Tuesday night against Banks, and we're going to be talking about tonight's big game versus Monroe area. We're also going to have some special guest pickers towards the end of our show this week.
First, we're going to get started with basketball news. Tuesday, the boys and girls basketball teams had a scrimmage against Banks County. The girls won 57-55, and the boys won 55-34. Emma, I know you were at the game. You were taking notes. You were seeing all of the various aspects of the game. Can you tell us a little bit about what you saw and what to look for when we go into the regular season?
Yeah. Well, it being a scrimmage, really early on in the season, looking a little, of course, it's going to look a little messy. That's just what you expect after going a few months without playing. But the girls' game was a really good game. It was close for a lot of the game. Younger players like Dakota Phillips and Valacia stepped up, and then you have seniors like Bree and Nisha who also played huge parts in the game. It was a really good scrimmage, really good way to see how they've progressed since last year, and there's a lot of improvement to be had, but I think they're going to have a really good season. Boys came in, they showed out as always. Older players, you got Ben and Spud. Ben had a great game. Spud also had a really good game. Then you got players like JC and Taj, the younger players, who also made a name in that game. It was a very good game. Towards the end of the game, it kind of got out of hand, but looking for big things from both of those teams this year and had great scrimmages Tuesday night. Actually, tomorrow they're going to be traveling to Cherokee Bluff to participate in the North Georgia High School Showcase. The girls are going to tip off at 10 versus Cherokee Bluff, and the boys will start at 8 tomorrow night versus Lanier.
We got a prime-time type matchup whenever you look and you see an 8 p.m. tip-off.
Oh, yeah.
We also have some more news for winter sports. Wrestling is actually going to get started up on the 25th, and the team is going to start by competing at the North Oconee Scrambler in North Oconee. So good luck to the wrestling team whenever they start their season, and the basketball team already making big-time plays and some big-time noise here early in the season.
Now we're going to transition into football news for this week. The Bulldogs are coming off of a huge win last week at East Jackson, and tonight is going to be senior night versus Monroe area, so that automatically makes it a big game. And this game is a deciding factor in playoff seeding. Very important game for the Bulldogs tonight, coming off a very big win last week. Adam, what's your take on that?
They're riding off of a huge win versus East Jackson. We pretty much knew coming into the game that they were going to win. They've been winning against East Jackson for a very long time. East Jackson's kind of like Franklin, beat them every year. Anyways, Monroe area is a really tough opponent. Coming into the season, they were projected, I think, to be the 3rd seed. My preseason projections, I actually had them around the 2 or the 3, depending on this game that we're playing tonight. I think that this is a huge game because not only does it decide your playoff seeding, it decides on if you host the game or if you go. So we're dealing with should I stay or should I go? And we want to stay. So we're looking for a big-time game tonight. I'm looking for a guy like J.L. Lackey to have a pretty big game. I think that he's going to be bruising around and then causing a lot of pain for a lot of defenders. I think that it's going to be a little bit colder, so colder games on the ground. You're talking about some big-time performances. I'd also look out for the defense. I'd look out for Xavier coming in, providing a lot of pressure for the quarterback. Look for him to probably get a sack or two and a lot of pressures and hurries. I think that there's a lot of question marks coming into the game about game plan, how you can attack. Because if you saw last week against East Jackson and throughout the season, we've had the run game be very, very strong, but we've also had the passing attack show some...
It's progressively getting better, I agree,
some very, very big play ability. So I think... I can't really predict a lot on the offensive side, and my game plan, if I was coming in, I think that I would have a really balanced attack. I wouldn't focus on one or the other.
Yeah. This is a huge game for the Bulldogs. Like we said, it's going to decide our playoff seeding, and we want that home playoff game. Tonight is senior night. Hopefully the seniors get to have one more game here in Herndon Stadium, hopefully next week against possibly Cedar Grove, which is a very good football team. And the other option, if we lose tonight to Monroe area, we would play Carver. So, Adam, out of the two, you want Cedar Grove, right?
I want a home playoff
Yes,
game.
yes.
That's what I want. I don't think you can just claim
Yeah.
you want Cedar Grove. I think that's not exactly the smartest thing. State champions in 2016, 2018, and 2019. So 3 out of the last 4 years they've won it. So I don't think you necessarily want them in your first round.
We just want the home playoff
We want
game.
the home playoff game, and I think that if you have the home playoff game, then you have a better shot. I think if I was forced to choose where I wanted to play Cedar Grove, I want to play them in Herndon Stadium.
Oh, yeah. We want the home field advantage. We want the crowd there. A lot of games this year, unfortunately, due to circumstances, we haven't got to have the Hart County crowd at every single game. But hopefully we come home with a win tonight and getting that home playoff game next week. Now we're going to transition into our picks for Freak of the Week.
This week, for my pick for Freak of the Week, I'm going with no other than J.L. Lackey. Emma, I know you picked him on earlier in the season, but I think with his performance at East Jackson, there was no way that I couldn't pick this guy. 3 touchdowns in the first half. He was absolutely playing bully ball against them boys. He had one play where he just flat out, as Mike Atkins on the call said, flat out ran over a guy. He made a lot of big-time plays, and he's progressed a lot throughout the year. He's got great speed. He's got great quickness, but he also can just flat out run you over. I think he is a special back because he can go through you, go around you. I haven't seen him hurdle, but I'm pretty sure he could go over you. He could absolutely make you into the receiving end on a special highlight play like that East Jackson player.
J.L. is a great player. He's a great leader for the team. He's been a great player since freshman year. He's been a name we've been talking about since his freshman year. I really hope we get to see J.L. play on a bigger level one day. I have full confidence that he will. But, yeah, that's a very good pick for Freak of the Week. So I'm going to go with a little bit of an unconventional pick this week for my Freak of the Week. And I would like to nominate all of the football seniors this year for my Freak of the Week this week. I would like to thank them for their hard work and dedication, and I just think they've been a part of lots of fun memories. I know that we've all had lots of big games, one for the school. They put in a lot of work this season, especially with the circumstances we're all under. I know that a lot of things have changed, a lot of things haven't gone their way, a lot of obstacles have been put in front of them, but I just want to nominate them for my Freak of the Week this week because of all the hard work they put in.
They have been through a lot together last year, getting into the third round of the state playoffs. They've made playoffs every single year. 2 years they've bounced out in the first round. Last year they made a super deep run. They're looking to replicate that. A very interesting story on top of that as well. We mentioned a while ago that there's a possibility we may play Cedar Grove first round of the state playoffs. This group of seniors played Cedar Grove their sophomore year and got bounced in the first round of the state playoffs.
In the frost, in the snow.
So they're looking to come back this year. If the possibility we play them, these seniors are going to look to beat them. And I love that pick for Freak of the Week. In this case, Freaks of the Week.
So, in honor of senior night tonight, we decided to grab some special pickers to help us pick our region picks this week. We're going to have representatives from the senior football players, senior band members, and senior cheerleaders.
Hey everybody, we're here in beautiful Herndon Stadium, home of the Bulldogs in Hartwell, Georgia, with our special guest pickers. We've got a very, very special panel with us. Everybody on here is seniors again. It's senior night. You know me and Emma, broadcasters. We do pretty much everything, it seems, when it comes around to the school, but you may not know the other 3 individuals that we have. We have Ben Solano, who's here representing the band. Emma and myself are also in band. We've got Ben here to also represent the band. We've also got Carly Cogden. She is a cheer senior. And we've got Ty Shiplett. We've talked about him a lot on the show. He's representing football here today. We're going to go ahead and get started with our game picks, guys. The first game around the region is Stevens versus East Jackson. We're going to hear from them in just a second, but I kind of want to start this off, and I just want to clearly state I have never picked East Jackson, and unfortunately, I won't again today. I'm picking Stevens. I personally don't think there's much conversation. I think that Stevens is going to basically run all over East Jackson, for a lack of better terms.
Yeah, I'm with Adam on that one. I mean, you really think East Jackson is going to do anything against Stevens? Yeah.
I'm going to have to agree with Adam and Ben. I just think Stevens is just a stronger team overall. I'm going to go Stevens as well. I don't think that Eagle defense can handle that Indian offense.
I'm not going to make this a long conversation. I got Stevens. I think they're going to be the stronger team. We didn't get to see them in the regular season this year, but we did see East Jackson, and we saw that. And I'm just going to have to go with Stevens on this one. So now we're going to transition into the big game of the week, our senior night tonight, Hart versus Monroe area here in Herndon Stadium. Huge game for the number 2 seed in the region. I'm going to go with my Dogs in this game. Hopefully we can pull it out. Ty, how you feel about it?
Dogs all the way. Dogs all the way.
100% agree. Hopefully we'll get a home playoff game after this.
Dogs all the way. I'm with Ty. Yeah.
You know, you've heard of them say dogs all the way. I love to talk, and I love to say a little bit more. Coming into this game is for number 2 seed in the state playoffs. This is a huge game for the Bulldogs. They're going to be facing the Purple Hurricanes. If you've watched the show, you've seen that I've spoke pretty highly of the Purple Hurricanes. I think that they're pretty good. If you remember the first game of the season against Stevens in the region, I said a Category 5 hurricane was coming. This ain't a hurricane. This is a tropical storm. They're not doing anything to the Dogs. I am all Dogs in this game.
Thank y'all for watching Bulldog Sports Insider. Congratulations to all seniors, band, cheerleaders, and football players. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Bulldog Sports Insider, and we'll see you next week.